The Galactic Council gathered in its chamber above the twin suns of Valora. It was a massive place, shaped like a circle with a high ceiling that shimmered like glass. Delegates from hundreds of worlds filled the room. Each carried the colors and symbols of their home planets. Their voices buzzed with chatter, arguing about trade, taxes, and territories. Yet one chair remained empty. It was Earth's chair. No human had sat there for decades. The planet's silence had become legendary in the galaxy. Some species whispered about it in fear. Others laughed at it. But no one ignored it. Humans had been part of the council once long ago, but now they were gone. They had fought wars that destroyed empires and then quietly left the table. Ambassador Lurian of the Valen species, tall and thin with green skin and long fingers, looked at the empty chair and smirked. "A primitive planet of ghosts," he said, his voice loud enough for all to hear. "They claim membership, yet they never come. What honor is this?" Some delegates laughed politely. Others frowned. No one spoke for a moment. There was a strange tension in the room, as if speaking against Lurian might bring trouble. Humans were gone, yes, but everyone remembered the stories. The stories told of humans who ended 3 wars alone, who could survive in places where other species would die instantly, and who had knowledge and weapons no one could match. On Earth, nobody reacted, or so it seemed. Unknown to the Council, a small, quiet machine sat on the moon's dark side. It was called Observer 9. Its purpose was simple: watch, record, and wait. It had no voice, no emotion, and no orders to attack. But it could see everything, and it could remember everything. "Let them mock," a faint voice in Observer 9's core said, though only it could hear it. "They have forgotten why silence is power." The Council moved on to its agenda. Trade routes in the Andorian belt were being disputed. A planet wanted more mining rights. Another claimed the same. Lurian species, of course, had their claws in both arguments. "Perhaps Earth would like to weigh in," said another delegate, a tall, golden-feathered bird-like creature. "Or perhaps they will continue their silence." A few snickers went around. Lurian leaned back in his seat. "They have not acted for decades. They will not act now." No one noticed the small red dot blinking on Observer 9's console, a simple signal sent to Earth's hidden command centers. "They are mocking us." In a hidden base deep under the Earth's crust, humans had changed. The world above looked quiet, peaceful, and unremarkable. Cities thrived. Ships flew through space, trading with friendly neighbors. But below the surface, old systems awoke. Commander Ethan Brooks moved through a long corridor lined with blinking panels. He was not young, but his eyes were sharp. "Status report," he said to the officer next to him. "All systems normal, sir," the officer replied. "But the Observers report unusual activity from the Council fleets near Keon Prime." Ethan nodded. He had expected this day might come. The humans had stayed silent for years, watching, learning, and building quietly. The galaxy had grown arrogant, thinking humans had forgotten how to fight. Captain Nora Hayes entered the room. She was calm, but her gaze was serious. "The Council is always testing boundaries. They do not know patience or respect," she said. "If they continue, there will be consequences." Ethan sighed. "We do not seek conflict, but we do not beg either." Far away, in orbit around Keon Prime, humans had built research stations that studied energy from the sun. Scientists worked there, unaware of the growing tension below. That was about to change. The Valen fleet appeared suddenly. Their ships were black and silver, moving faster than anyone expected. They did not announce themselves. They did not ask. Within hours, the stations were surrounded and alarms rang out across the planets below. Scientists were stunned. The Council had made a bold move. They had crossed a line. On Earth, Ethan watched the data stream from the hidden command center. "They think we will do nothing," he muttered. "They do not remember the cost of silence." Nora's eyes narrowed. "Prepare the rescue teams. Quietly, efficiently. We will not allow this to be the start of war. but we will remind them why they do not provoke humans. At that moment, across the galaxy, the Council continued its meeting. No one realized what was about to happen. No one could imagine the quiet storm brewing from a planet they believed ignored the universe. Ambassador Lurian raised his claws in a triumphant gesture. Earth is weak. Their people are scattered. This will be a simple lesson in humility. Back on Earth in the hidden lunar base, Observer 9 recorded everything. Its circuits hummed with energy. It sent signals to every hidden outpost, every ship in orbit, every old human command center. Earth did not speak yet. It did not attack yet. But it had begun to move. History has taught them nothing, Ethan said softly. And history will remind them, silently, what humanity can do. The Council had assumed silence was a weakness. They were wrong. They had forgotten what humans had accomplished, alone against impossible odds. They had forgotten that humans did not need to shout to be heard across the stars. And so, as the Valen fleet prepared to take the research stations, Earth watched. Every eye, every sensor, every hidden weapon waited in quiet readiness. Humans did not rush to conflict. They did not send messages of anger. They waited patiently for the moment the Council truly crossed the line of disrespect. In the Council chamber, laughter continued. Delegates debated trade, laughed at jokes, and ignored the warnings they had never seen. But deep in the shadows, behind layers of secrecy and silence, Earth prepared. Not for revenge, not for conquest, but for a reminder that even silence could be stronger than any fleet, any weapon, any empire. The line had been crossed and Earth had finally noticed. The Council had not waited long. The Valen fleet had reached Keon Prime and surrounded Earth's research stations in orbit. The scientists there had never imagined such an event. They stared at the approaching ships, their alarms blaring, their screens filled with blinking red warnings. "Captain Hayes, what do we do?" asked one young technician over the station's communicator. Her voice trembled. "Stay calm," Nora said firmly, though her own heart beat faster than she would admit. "Do not panic. Do not respond unless necessary. Help is on the way." Below on Earth, Commander Ethan Brooks reviewed the Council's data feeds. He leaned back in his chair, studying the fleets as they moved into position. The Council believed Earth would not act. They believed humans were weak. "They think silence is fear," Ethan said. "They think waiting means we do not notice. They are wrong." Nora Hayes and her team on the research station watched as Valen soldiers prepared to board their facility. The soldiers moved quickly, but they were no match for the humans who had prepared quietly for years. Small traps, defense systems, and hidden corridors awaited them. The Valen would not know what hit them. Back on Earth, hidden AIs began to hum with life. They had slept for decades, quietly monitoring the galaxy. Now they activated. Systems long thought dormant began sending encrypted signals across space. Ships that had not moved in years came online. Communications channels opened and humans in hiding began coordinating. Ethan spoke quietly to his council of officers. "Our priority is to secure our people. We do not attack first. We do not start a war. But if they threaten humans, they will see the cost of disrespect." Nora Hayes moved through the station silently, guiding scientists to hidden escape pods. They carried important research, but their lives mattered more. The Valen were confident, arrogant, and careless. The humans used that to their advantage. Hours later, the first boarding attempt began. The Valen entered the station expecting little resistance. Instead, they found the lights darkened, corridors empty, and alarms blaring at the wrong locations. One by one, Valen squads were trapped in containment fields designed centuries ago but maintained in perfect condition. In orbit around the research station, the Valen commanders were stunned. "Where are the humans?" they shouted. "They should be here." "They are not here," one soldier replied, panic rising. "Our scanners show only empty corridors." On Earth, Ethan Brooks watched the data. He smiled quietly. "They always underestimate humans," he said. "And they always will." The council back on Valora did not understand what was happening. Ambassador Lurian's confidence began to waver as he received reports. "Impossible," he muttered. "They should be captured. They should be begging for mercy." But mercy was not what humans sought. They did not seek glory or revenge. They sought respect. a reminder that silence could be a weapon far more powerful than fire or steel. Observer 9, quietly watching from the moon, recorded every moment. Its circuits flickered with energy. Signals it had sent days before now activated hidden systems across the solar system. Old human ships, long thought decommissioned, rose silently from hidden hangars. Black and silver vessels moved into orbit, undetected by Council sensors. Captain Nora Hayes and her team were guided to one of these ships. Its engines were silent, its weapons dormant. They entered the ship without a sound. For the first time in decades, humans moved openly, yet no one saw them coming. Meanwhile, on Keon Prime, the Council debated what to do. "The humans are silent," said one delegate nervously. "They have not responded. Perhaps we should withdraw?" "No," Lurian said sharply. "They are weak. They always have been. This is a simple lesson. Once we take the research stations, they will know their place. They were wrong. Very wrong." From hidden sensors, Ethan and Nora watched the Valen fleet closely. Every movement was recorded. Every weakness was mapped. Humans were patient, but they were not idle. Systems prepared quietly, defenses aligned perfectly, and escape routes were ready for the captured scientists. When the Valen tried to take control of the station again, they found themselves trapped. Airlocks sealed, force fields activated, automated systems moved like silent hunters, guiding humans safely away while preventing the Valen from pursuing. "Captain Hayes, we are in position," one officer reported. "All scientists are secure." "Good," Nora replied. "Prepare for departure. Do not fire. Keep the Council guessing. Let them wonder if humans are truly silent, or if they are waiting." Back on Earth, Ethan Brooks issued orders to prepare communications. A message would be sent to the Council, simple and clear. Nothing long, nothing emotional. "Just a reminder, they need to understand," Ethan said. "Respect is not demanded. It is earned, and they have forgotten this." Hours later, a secure message left the solar system. It was short, precise, cold. "You have crossed the line." The Council received the message in their main chamber. Silence fell immediately. Delegates stared at the console, unable to speak. The words were simple yet heavy with meaning. No species could send a message like this without power behind it. Ambassador Lurian's claws shook as he hit the control panel. "Who sent this? Which human? Where is this coming from?" No answer came. Only silence. On Keon Prime, Valen officers were in panic. Their fleet had lost control of the stations. Humans were nowhere to be found. Escape pods moved silently through the atmosphere, guided by unknown forces. Every attempt to intercept them failed. Nora Hayes looked at her crew. "This is only the beginning," she said. "We do not seek war, but we will remind them why they do not mock humans." Meanwhile, Observer 9 continued to record everything. Its systems had learned much in the past decades. Every move of the Council, every fleet deployment, every arrogance-filled statement was stored in its memory. Humans could wait. Humans could observe. And when the time came, they could act with precision no other species could match. Back on Earth, Ethan Brooks addressed his officers. "Our patience has limits. We do not attack for pride. We attack when respect is denied. Today, the Council has denied respect." The message had been sent. The fleets could see it. The scientists were safe. Humans had not yet revealed the full extent of their power. The galaxy had believed Earth's silence was weakness. They had believed the absence of humans from Council meetings meant peace. They were wrong. From hidden bases, Earth's fleets moved silently, preparing for what might come. Not for destruction, but for protection. Not for conquest, but for a clear warning. Disrespect humans, and the cost will be more than you can imagine. In the Council chamber, whispers grew. Delegates wondered if humans had always been watching. If every slight, every insult, every act of arrogance had been recorded and remembered. The fear was subtle at first, but it grew quickly. "They are not silent," a delegate murmured. "They have been waiting." Ethan Brooks and his officers watched the Council's movements closely. "Let them realize," he said. "Let them see what happens when patience is mistaken for fear." Captain Nora Hayes smiled faintly. "The line has been crossed," she said. "And now the lesson begins." Outside Kion Prime, the Valen fleet moved in confusion. Systems failed, sensors flickered, and communication lines broke. Humans were not attacking. Not yet. But humans were everywhere. In every sensor, in every channel, in every hidden system. The council could not track them. They could not predict them. They could not understand them. The silent planet had begun to wake, and the galaxy had not seen anything yet. The council's chamber was filled with confusion and fear. Delegates whispered urgently, their voices shaking. Lurian paced back and forth, his long claws tapping on the glass floor. The message from Earth, "You have crossed the line," had spread through every system they controlled. For the first time in decades, they were unsure what humans were capable of. "We must act," said one nervous delegate, a blue-scaled officer from Tyrannus. "We cannot allow them to continue like this. Their silence is dangerous." Lurian shook his head. "Dangerous? They have not attacked. They have not fired a single shot. What can they do?" The delegates did not answer. They feared the truth even if they did not fully understand it. Far below Earth's surface, in hidden command centers, humans moved quietly. Ethan Brooks walked down the corridor of a massive underground facility. Lights glowed softly, showing long rows of consoles, screens, and small fleets of drones being prepped for deployment. "Commander," said Lieutenant Claire Monroe, a sharp-eyed officer in her late 30s, "all fleets are online. Ships are ready. We have been monitoring council communications for days. They still do not know we are awake." Ethan nodded. "Good. Our first priority is protection. We do not attack unless we are forced, but we will show them that silence is not weakness." Outside Earth, old ships that had once been museum pieces rose silently from hidden hangars. Black, sleek vessels, unarmed in appearance, glided into orbit. To the council, they were invisible. To humans, they were the first step of a larger plan. Captain Nora Hayes guided the scientists from the Keon Prime research station toward one of these ships. The scientists were still shaken but unharmed. They had witnessed the Valen fleet fail to capture them, their attackers disappearing into containment fields and failing systems. "Stay calm," Nora said quietly. "The Council has underestimated humans for too long. They will learn soon enough." In orbit around Keon Prime, the Valen fleet struggled to understand what had happened. Sensors failed. Communications were blocked. Ships disappeared from their radar and reappeared in strange positions. Panic spread among their ranks. "They are ghosts," one Valen officer whispered. "They cannot be here." "And yet they are." Nora smiled faintly. "They are more than ghosts," she said. "They are humans, and they remember." Back on Earth, Ethan Brooks convened his senior officers in the strategy room. Large screens displayed the Council's fleets, their positions, and weaknesses. Observers from Observer 9 had supplied decades of data. Every mistake, every flaw, every overconfidence of the Council fleets had been recorded and analyzed. "Today we show the galaxy what patience can do," Ethan said. "We do not seek war. We seek respect. They will understand that silence does not mean weakness. It means preparation." Lieutenant Monroe tapped a screen. "Sir, we have confirmed multiple fleets moving toward neutral systems. They believe the humans are still inactive. They are sending ships to secure more territory. We can intercept without revealing our full power." Ethan nodded. "Prepare to shadow them. Observe. If they threaten humans or our allies, we strike decisively. But we remain quiet for now. Quiet is our strength." The first signs of human action were subtle. Council ships traveling through neutral sectors reported strange anomalies. Sensors flickered. Communications lagged. Systems shut down temporarily. Pilots reported glimpses of black ships appearing and vanishing without warning. The word spread quickly among Council fleets. Humans were moving, silently, but everywhere. No one could predict where they would appear next. In orbit above the moon, Observer 9 monitored the fleets. It sent encrypted data to every hidden command center on Earth, linking the old satellites, drones, and ships into a single network. Humans were becoming one system, connected in ways the galaxy could not comprehend. On the captured Keon Prime station, scientists watched in awe as humans moved with precision. Engineers and researchers guided pods through hidden routes, systems activated automatically, and the Valen soldiers had no idea where the humans went or how they had escaped. This is impossible," one scientist whispered. "How are they doing this?" Captain Nora Hayes responded calmly. "Because humans do not act recklessly. We do not panic. We plan, we wait, and then we act at the right moment." The scientist nodded, realizing that this was not about power or aggression. It was about intelligence, patience, and discipline. Back in the council chamber, panic grew. Reports came in from multiple sectors: fleets disappearing, systems malfunctioning, planets suddenly under human observation. Delegates argued, shouted, and pointed fingers. Lurian slammed his claws on the table. "This cannot be," he said. "Humans are not supposed to do this. They cannot move like this. They cannot control so much at once." A delegate from a small, peaceful planet spoke up. "Perhaps they never left the galaxy. Perhaps they have been watching all along. And now they have chosen to act." "Impossible," Lurian replied. "They are silent. Silence is weakness. They cannot threaten us." But silence had never been weakness. It had been preparation. Ethan Brooks reviewed reports from all across the solar system. Minor fleets moved into position. Sensors detected council ships in vulnerable zones. Communications were jammed selectively. Signals were left that appeared natural, as if systems failed on their own. "Observe, do not attack yet," Ethan said. "We strike only if they threaten humans or our allies. But every move must remind them that humans are no longer silent in presence alone. Silence is power." On Keon Prime, Captain Nora Hayes prepared the final phase for the rescued scientists. Escape pods were guided through hidden corridors to ships waiting in orbit. Systems worked perfectly. The Valen had no idea they were being guided. Every attack they attempted failed before it began. "They are learning too late," Nora said softly. "They mocked humans. They underestimated humans, and they will pay attention now." The Council tried to react. Fleets were redeployed. Sensors intensified. Spies and ambassadors tried to discover human locations. Yet no one could find them. Every system humans touched seemed to vanish from the Council's sight. Observer 9 recorded every move and sent silent signals to Earth's fleets. Connections were made between hidden ships, satellites, and systems in orbit. Humans did not need large fleets to strike. They needed only strategy and patience. Lieutenant Monroe observed the Council's fleets on the tactical screens. "They are panicking," she said. "They do not understand what is happening. They still believe silence means inaction." Ethan Brooks leaned back. "Let them believe that. The moment they realize the truth will be the moment they finally respect humans." Across the galaxy, rumors began to spread. Whispers filled the air. Humans were moving, but no one had seen their fleets. Council officers spoke in fear. "They are ghosts," some said. "They control systems from nowhere. They appear and vanish." How can this be possible? It was possible because humans never left. They had stayed hidden, patient, and observant. Every insult, every slight, every act of disrespect had been noted. Now the galaxy would learn that silence was never weakness. On Earth, Ethan Brooks prepared the next orders. "Phase 2 will begin soon," he said. "We do not attack unless necessary, but we will remind them why humans were feared before, and why we will always be respected." Captain Nora Hayes looked at the stars outside the command deck of her ship. "The Council will learn. They will remember. And silence will become a warning, not a sign of weakness. For the first time in decades, humans were awake in the galaxy. They had not declared war. They had not attacked first. But they had made themselves known. The Council had crossed the line of disrespect. Humans had noticed. And the quiet awakening of the silent planet had begun. No one knew what would happen next, but everyone knew the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. The line had been crossed. And humans were ready. The Council had grown restless. Fleet after fleet reported strange anomalies. Systems failed. Sensors blinked out. Communications scrambled. Ships vanished from the radar only to reappear in unexpected locations. Panic spread among delegates, and Lurian's arrogance began to crumble. "They are everywhere," a Tyrannus officer whispered. "We cannot track them. We cannot understand them." Lurian's green skin pulsed with frustration. "Impossible," he shouted. "Humans are supposed to be silent. They are supposed to remain in their corner of the galaxy. They cannot control this much at once." But the humans had been preparing for decades. Every council overreach, every insult, every act of disrespect had been recorded. Every weakness had been noted. And now humans were ready to remind the galaxy why they had once been feared. Deep beneath Earth's surface, in the command center, Ethan Brooks watched the Council's movements on the large tactical screens. Black lines represented fleets. Red dots indicated alerts from anomalies humans had created. Every movement of the Council fleets had been anticipated. "They are panicking," Lieutenant Claire Monroe said, her eyes scanning the data. Their fleets do not know where we are, yet they try to search. Every move we expected is happening exactly as planned. Ethan nodded. Patience. Quiet observation is more powerful than immediate action. Let them tremble. Let them wonder if humans are truly silent or if they are preparing something far greater. The first strike, however, was not meant to destroy. It was meant to warn. Council fleets orbiting Velkar Prime were suddenly cut off from all communications. Sensors shut down. No alarm sounded. Then within seconds, a single council hub exploded. It was precise. No debris remained large enough to trace. No ships were visible. The destruction was complete, clean, and terrifying. Across the council chambers, alarms rang as delegates realized what had happened. Impossible, Lurian screamed. No fleet attacked. No ship fired. How can a single human destroy a hub without being seen? They are ghosts, a delegate whispered in terror. They must be ghosts. They are humans, Lurian said, his voice trembling. And we have disrespected them for too long. On Earth, Ethan Brooks and his officers observed the result silently. Let this be a warning, he said. We do not seek war, but we will remind the galaxy why humans were feared before. Captain Nora Hayes prepared the next phase of operations. Her black and silver fleet had moved silently through space, invisible to sensors. Scientists rescued from Kion Prime now observed the operation, amazed at the precision and discipline of the humans around them. They are controlling systems from nowhere, one scientist whispered. They appear and disappear. How is this possible? Nora did not answer. Humans did not need to explain. Action spoke louder than words. The next day, every council capital received the same message, short, cold, and unyielding. Return our people. Apologize, or we will remind you why silence was a mercy. The message appeared on every terminal, every communication channel in every language, perfectly encrypted yet universally understood. Delegates stared at the screens in shock. This is impossible, said a delegate from a small, peaceful planet. Who sent this? How did they reach us all at once? Lurian's claws shook as he banged on the table. Humans cannot control this much. We have underestimated them. They are ghosts, shadows, demons, whatever you call them, but they are not to be ignored. The council debated retaliation, but hesitation spread. Fleets sent to intercept human forces vanished overnight. The more they tried to act, the less control they had. Panic replaced pride. In orbit above the moon, Observer 9 recorded everything. Signals that had been sent decades before now activated hidden networks. Old human ships moved silently through space, coordinating with drones, satellites, and stations. Every council move was anticipated. Every fleet was mapped. Humans did not need large armies to make themselves feared. Lieutenant Monroe smiled as she observed the council's panic. They thought silence meant fear, she said. They have forgotten the cost of disrespect. Ethan Brooks stepped forward. Quiet but deadly. That has always been humanity's way. And now they will remember. Admiral Claire Monroe, standing on the bridge of one of the black and silver ships, sent a holographic message directly to the council chamber. She appeared as a calm, cold-eyed figure in uniform. Her presence was unnerving. She did not shout. She did not threaten. She merely stood and spoke. Return our people, she said, her voice steady. Apologize. Show respect. Humanity has remained silent for decades. We did not fight. We did not respond. We watched. And now you have crossed the line. The chamber was silent. Not a word was spoken. Delegates stared at the hologram, realizing that this was not a threat that could be ignored. Humans had not attacked yet, but their power, patience, and precision were undeniable. Then she disappeared, leaving the council in absolute silence. The council tried to regroup. Fleets were deployed. Sensors were enhanced. Ambassadors were sent to spy on human activity. But it was all too late. Humans had planned decades ahead. Every fleet, every communication, every system was coordinated in ways the galaxy could not comprehend. In orbit around neutral planets, council fleets reported strange events. Ships would appear, then vanish. Communications would fail, then restore. Sensors would detect movement in empty space. The galaxy began to whisper rumors. Humans were everywhere, yet nowhere. They are ghosts, some whispered. They are not attacking, yet they are in control. How can this be? They are humans, others corrected, their voices trembling. and we have disrespected them for too long. Back on Earth, Ethan Brooks and his officers watched everything unfold with calm precision. "We do not seek war," he said. "We do not seek glory. But respect is not given. It is earned. And they will remember this lesson." Captain Nora Hayes prepared the fleets for silent patrols. Every movement was precise. Every ship remained invisible to sensors. Humans moved like shadows across the galaxy, yet always in control. "They do not need to attack," Nora said softly. "They only need to remind the galaxy why they were once feared." The scientists rescued from Keon Prime watched in awe. "They are." "Perfect," one whispered. "Every move is calculated, every action precise." "How can humans do this?" "They have always been like this," Nora said. "We only appear silent because we choose to wait. Patience is our weapon, and respect is our right." For the Council, the lesson was clear. They had mocked humans. They had assumed silence meant weakness. Now every fleet, every system, and every corner of their controlled space was reminded that silence could be far more dangerous than open attack. Admiral Claire, Monroe sent one final message before withdrawing the fleets. "Humanity seeks peace, not submission. We stayed silent because we respected life. Cross that line again, and you will meet the silence that ends stars." The council chambers fell silent. No one spoke. Fear replaced pride. Every delegate realized the truth. Humans had been watching, waiting, and preparing. Silence had never been weakness. It had been power. The galaxy would never again treat Earth as it had before. And Earth remained silent, watching, waiting, and ready. The galaxy was tense. Every council fleet remained on edge. Every planet under the council's control watched the skies carefully, expecting an attack that might never come. For weeks, humans had remained unseen but omnipresent, moving silently across systems, leaving subtle reminders of their power. The Council no longer laughed at Earth's silence. They feared it. On Earth, Commander Ethan Brooks reviewed the final preparations. The hidden fleets had moved into position above every Council stronghold, yet they did not fire. Weapons remained dormant. Ships glided silently in orbit, black and silver against the stars, visible only to those who had sensors precise enough to detect them. Lieutenant Claire Monroe stood beside him. "They will understand soon enough," she said. "We do not attack, but we make ourselves seen." "Silence is enough," Ethan nodded. "This is not war. This is a reminder. Humans have remained patient for decades. Now the galaxy will learn the cost of disrespect." Captain Nora Hayes prepared her own fleet. The rescued scientists from Keon Prime watched quietly, still amazed at the organization and discipline of the humans around them. "They do not need to fire a single shot," one scientist whispered. "Their presence is already enough." "Presence is power," Nora said, "and humanity has never forgotten how to command respect." The council had called an emergency session. Delegates crowded the chamber, fear etched on every face. Lurian paced frantically. "They are in orbit of every capital," he shouted. "How is this possible? How can they appear everywhere at once?" A delegate from a neutral planet spoke softly. "Perhaps they have always been here. Perhaps they were never gone," Lurian growled. "Silence does not mean absence. We cannot be intimidated by ghosts." The delegates did not reply. They had begun to understand that this was not intimidation. This was strategy, precision, and observation. Humans had watched for decades. They had waited for the line of disrespect to be crossed. Now the galaxy was paying attention. Suddenly, a hologram appeared in the council chamber. It was Admiral Claire Monroe. Her presence was calm, controlled, and commanding. She did not shout. She did not threaten. She simply stood cold and focused and spoke. Humanity sought peace. Humanity remained silent for decades. We have not attacked. We have not threatened. We have observed. But you have crossed the line of disrespect. Your actions against our people, your arrogance, and your belief that silence equals weakness have consequences. The chamber was silent. Every delegate stared at the hologram. No one moved. Fear replaced arrogance. "Return our people," Admiral Monroe continued. "Apologize. Show respect. Humanity does not seek war, but we will act if provoked. And if provoked, the cost will be more than any species in this galaxy can comprehend." With that, the hologram disappeared. Silence filled the chamber. Outside the council homeworld, humans remained in orbit. Ships glided silently, systems humming softly, ready for action but never firing. Fleets were positioned to protect human interests and to show their power without violence. The message was clear. Humans were awake. Humans had returned. And humans would not be disrespected. Ethan Brooks addressed his officers. Today we do not attack. Today we remind them that patience is a weapon, silence is strength, and respect is never given and it is earned. The galaxy will remember that Earth is no longer silent. Lieutenant Monroe nodded. They understand now. They have no choice but to understand. In the council chamber, Lurian slumped into his chair. They are not humans as we imagined, he muttered. They are not weak. They are precise. They are everywhere. And they are patient. We have underestimated them for too long, a delegate from a neighboring planet added. Perhaps silence is their power. Perhaps we have never truly known them. Other delegates murmured in agreement. Fear and respect began to replace arrogance. The council had learned a harsh lesson. Humanity's silence had never been weakness. It had been preparation. On Keon Prime, Captain Nora Hayes monitored the situation. Rescue missions had succeeded. Scientists and engineers were safe. Every human vessel remained undetected by the council, unless they allowed it to be seen. The galaxy had witnessed the reminder. Humans did not need to fight to command fear and respect. They will remember this, Nora said softly. For generations they will remember that humans were patient, that humans were silent, and that humans were not to be mocked. Back on Earth, Ethan Brooks looked at the stars. The fleets moved silently through orbit, systems active, weapons ready but not engaged. We have done what we needed to do, he said. The Council has been reminded. Humanity remains at peace, but never at weakness. A final message from Admiral Claire Monroe was broadcast to the Council capitals, simple and precise. Humanity has watched. Humanity has waited. Humanity does not forget. Respect us, honor peace, or face consequences that are beyond your imagining. The Council received the message and could do nothing. Fleets could not intercept it. Communications could not block it. Every species understood that humans had the power to act at will, silently, precisely, and decisively. For the first time, no one in the galaxy laughed at Earth. No one mocked its silence. Silence was now a warning. Silence was power. Over the coming weeks, humans maintained their presence silently in orbit, never firing, never engaging, but always ready. Council fleets withdrew cautiously. Diplomats approached humans with respect for the first time in decades. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Ethan Brooks addressed his command one final time. We do not seek domination. We do not seek revenge. We seek respect. Silence is our strength. Patience is our power. And humanity has shown the galaxy what it means to be prepared even while silent. Captain Nora Hayes smiled faintly. We have not shouted. We have not struck. Yet the lesson is clear. Humanity is never to be underestimated. Observer 9 continued to record every moment. Every action, every fleet movement, every council decision was documented. Humanity had returned silently, and the galaxy would never forget. The council learned a final truth. The silent planet was awake. It had not left. It had not surrendered. It had only waited. And when the line of disrespect was crossed, Earth reminded the galaxy that patience, silence, and precision were more powerful than any fleet, any weapon, or any empire. Humanity remained calm, collected and ready. Their silence had ended, but their strength was clear. From that day on, the phrase "Earth is silent" became a warning, not a joke, and the galaxy understood. Silence could speak louder than any war.